Before we start our practice problems, I want to take a minute to go over specific heat one more time. So the formal definition of specific heat is the amount of energy needed to raise 1 gram of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. If you want to put it in simple terms, it's how easy or how hard it is to change the temperature of an object. So if you think of some common objects like cooking and boiling a pot of water on the stove, we cook in metal pans. The reason being metal heats up easier than plastic or wood or some other object. So metal has a low specific heat because it is easy to heat up. Water, on the other hand, has a higher specific heat. So if you have water in the pot and you turn it on, the pot's going to get hotter than the water faster. And then if you want to take it even further, if you had, let's say, a wooden spoon or a plastic spoon, those are going to take longer to heat up as well. They have a higher specific heat than the metal. So metal has a low specific heat, water has a high specific heat. A low specific heat means that it's easy to heat up. A high specific heat means that it's harder to heat up. When we're solving problems that involve specific heat, we use the formula Q equals mc delta T. Q stands for the energy, and our unit for energy is the joule. M stands for mass, and all of these problems, the mass has to be in grams. C stands for the specific heat, and that unit is joules per gram degree Celsius. And delta T, remember that triangle stands for delta, which means change in. Delta T is the change in temperature. And for all of these, they have to be in degrees Celsius. Some problems will ask you to find the initial or the final temperature, so it's good to remember that change in temperature is the final temperature minus the initial temperature. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of times you'll have problems that don't give you the specific heat, and they refer to generally water in that case. Well, water has a specific heat of 4.184 joules per gram degree Celsius. So if you ever have a problem and it asks you about water, we know that water is going to have the specific heat of 4.184 joules per gram degree Celsius.